Well, if you're ever traveling down Newmarket Road and you're at the intersection of Newmarket and Vale Avenue and you look to the right or the left and you see this little cubbyhole of a store there and it says Model Railroads, well, now we're inside the store and we're going to really find out what's actually in here. So I'm fortunate enough to be here with the proprietors of the store. So what kind of interest is in there that you see? Is it mostly folks that are in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, or do you see a new type of generation of grandparents bringing their grandkids in to try to get interested in what we perceive as growing up was like a real good, nice hobby to have as a kid growing up?
Well, it is kind of an aging hobby, that's for sure. You know, a lot of people that are in their 50s and 60s have been doing it sometimes their whole life. There are a lot of those age people coming in, though, that all of a sudden want a new hobby or something different. And I think the pandemic might have brought that up, where people were kind of stuck in the house, so they were either getting out their old trains or looking for a hobby. So, and model railroading is usually in the top 5.
So you can't during. I mean, you've probably seen it with some of the customers that came in. I mean, there's only so many times you can play a PlayStation.
It's true.
You know what I mean? Because PlayStation, even though you're glued in front of a television, there's nothing beats actually trying to put track together. And we were actually talking on set how it actually sort of, in a way, the hobby creates a potential career path for people.
Oh yeah,
absolutely does. And I have to tell you, my favorite day of the week is Saturday.
Yeah.
Because families come in with their little ones.
Yeah.
And I've seen 7 and 8 year old kids that have so much knowledge of the hobby already.
Really? No kidding. Are they getting it from their actual parents or the grandparents?
No, probably from YouTube and so on.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's refreshing to see.
So do you think like this social media has actually helped your store out in a way of re-energizing interest in model railroad?
Certainly among the 5 and 6 year olds, and they come in extremely knowledgeable, especially about the real trains and stuff like that.
Really?
Which railroads have.
I thought I was getting it off easy when my son BC just wanted Thomas in the train from right there. And
Thomas increased the
really
interest greatly.
Both of you as proprietors, what do you see as like the most interesting thing of your business here?
Well, the excitement. They're very excited to do their little world in the model trains and so on, and you have control over that. It is kind of a slow-paced hobby, so it is, of course, the video games are a big competition because they're, so fast-paced. But it seems like we've had quite a few kids now mention or something that kind of getting tired of the video games. I want to be able to have something I can show people too of what I did. Yeah. And that seems to be what is driving the hobby too at the moment.
So when I was growing up in town, 4-H was very big, and they had the electrical club of 4-H and landscape club, and so the model railroad. If you want to put a landscape together, you have to have a thought process as a landscape architect, and then you still have to have some at least rudimentary knowledge of electricity, because requires track work and things like that. I was fortunate enough, my dad had a lot, and I had one of the club leaders lived right on my street, so it was very easy to learn how to put everything, snap everything together and get electricity.
That's why Rick and I are so blessed to have Warren as our manager, because he's an encyclopedia of model railroading.
Yeah. So what got you to come into the business here and be involved? Was it a passion started at an early age, or was it midlife crisis? You wanted to just do it?
Her husband and with Rick Jack, one of the other owners that passed away recently, they've been owning it for 43 years.
Yeah.
Okay. There's only been 3 owners over the years here, really.
I mean, I know you've been here for 90 plus years. So what was the genesis of who or what persons actually started?
It was Howell Day.
Okay.
In 1933.
Yeah.
And then after that, after several years, he sold it to a gentleman named Leonard Lipman, who sold it to Fred Diebert
in
1950. And then in 1981, my husband Rick Dunbar and our business partner Jack Derizet bought it from Fred Diebert. Sadly, we lost Jack Derizet 3 years ago this month.
Okay.
And we miss him every day. And
now, did he have an affection for model train?
I wanted to tell you, both Rick and Jack and Warren, they used to ride their bikes over here when they were kids, like 8 and 9 years old, and watch the train lay out in the front window. And they just fell in love with it.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So do you think, oh, one of these days I'd like to buy that store?
That was my husband's lifelong dream.
Wow.
You know, we're forever grateful to Jack for that because he made it happen.
Well, that is like interesting news as a child, as a kid growing up. You know, you see a store and you always say, boy, I would really like to start a business up. And you didn't even have to start a new business up. You actually bought a business already in operation. So
it was great.
Well, this is the type of hobby that it's not, you know, this is a little bit more personable than, I know with my kids, if you want to go and buy a PlayStation game or something like that, they're just, you know, ordering it online or, you know, talking to the friends. But this is, you actually have to physically come in. You want to see what you're getting. Is this, can I envision this as part of my addition of my scenery or new track work or new layout or something like that?
And another part that I really enjoy, there's a club and union that comes here every Saturday, and they share their ideas with each other and with the customers, and it's just like an ongoing thing. It's like a community of people who really love the hobby.
Well, sounds like it's like the original mom and pop grocery store, but it's not a grocery store, it's a hobby store.
Actually, there was a grocery store on this side of the building. That side was the Model Railroad shop, and this was a supermarket.
So back to the future. So what do you have to say with the viewership that's out there, other than stopping by to get involved? But what would you say, Warren?
Well, overall, it's always been a really great hobby, mainly because there's so many different ways to enjoy it. Whether you're really a tinkerer or somebody that can fix things and stuff like that, and you improve and work with this stuff, or if you just want to see the trains run around on a piece of plywood with some grass paper down on it. But there's literally hundreds of different ways to enjoy the hobby. And whatever your expertise is, you can use that expertise. Even maybe just taking photos of trains and having just a display on a mantle or something. Or a large layout that could fill a room this size or something like that.
Well, I can appreciate that as growing up as a kid with HO trains. I understand that. And, you know, it's easy. Like you said, use plywood. You get a sheet of plywood.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Right there.
On the floor.
1/4-inch plywood, that's all you need.
On the floor.
Yeah, right on the floor.
A lot of people do it on the floor.
You go in the basement. If you don't have a basement, you put it under your bed like we did.
Yeah.
So that's great. That's great news.
Especially with the smaller stuff now, you can literally do as down the layout down there. You can easily slide that under a bed or stick it behind a dresser or something like that.
Yeah.
They even make a layout in a kit, complete foam kit that you cut, you glue it all together. It only weighs about 25 pounds.
No kidding. They actually have a kit that you actually just glue the track work together.
One right down there.
Wow. Boy, I remember like the little nails they used to give you to nail the track into the board.
Yeah.
So, and you came with a tedious little hammer there to do that.
Yeah.
Patience. What this type of hobby teaches you is to be patient.
I've never thought of myself as being patient. And so many people say that when I'm working on something, I have great patience or things like that.
Well, listen, I encourage all the Piscataway residents, and even if you don't live in Piscataway, feel free to stop out to the Model Railroad Hobby Shop here at the corner of Vale Ave. Give the address.
290 Vale Avenue. Yeah. Obviously, Piscataway, New Jersey. Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, 10:30 to 6. Wednesdays and Fridays, 10:30 to 8. But I didn't get out of here until 12 last night. So
remember, every day should be a holiday to buy these type of hobbies here, right? Just not around the holiday time. So.
Thank you, Mayor.
Well, good. Thank you.